Hello fans, we are live here in New York City. We are geared up for next weekend, October 3rd and 4th. FWE is back. We return to Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, St. Patrick's Gym. FWE Refueled, presented by Vegas Fuel. I'm AJ Pan along with Uncle Steven.
Hello everybody, you guys know the excitement is always with Uncle Steven. I'm ready to count the 1, 2, 3. This guy's ready to do his announcing and more. We will find out. October 3rd and 4th, it's going to be one heck of a show, set of events. I cannot wait for this doubleheader.
There's actually two heck of a shows.
I know, I just said
you
that.
Combine, yeah, you kind of, yeah.
It's refueled as one night. However, it's 2 nights, but it's a doubleheader. I said that.
It's a doubleheader. We'll get into, yes.
I said that.
We got huge events. I mean, top to bottom, both nights are stacked.
Absolutely.
Let's kick it off with night number 1, the main event. It's a tag team warfare, making their debut, formerly Bad Influence. They are now The Addiction. Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, they team up to face men who have been chasing the FWE tag team titles for the better part of a year, Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks.
This is going to be spectacular. You guys have seen these guys everywhere. Honestly, even if you just tuned into FWE and saw the I guess, legacy, if you will, of the Young Bucks, showstoppers for a reason, and this match has all the makings of being exactly that. I call showstopper right there.
It's hard to call showstoppers with FWE's shows because every match from top to bottom is spectacular. So let's keep it moving. Also, we have another debut. Former FWE World Heavyweight Champion Carlito Colon, he returns to action. He faces man making his debut, the former Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway.
That should be insane. We've seen Carlito tangle with John Hennigan, formerly John Morrison, and that was one of my favorite matches to ref and be a part of personally. And I'm very excited to see Drew make his FW debut. This guy is a monster. I don't even need to speak anything more of it. Everyone knows of Drew McIntyre, and I cannot wait to see him debut against a very formidable opponent in Carlito.
It's going to be interesting. The former world champion, and he won the title at an outsider event, House of Hardcore. So now Drew is the outsider coming into FWE. The former chosen one. He wants to be that here in FWE. Great step if he beats Carlito. We also have a mixed tag team match. I believe the first ever in FWE. I believe that is.
I guess official. First official.
Yeah.
mixed tag match. I'm very excited. You tell them all about it.
Well, it's going to be my favorite new tag team, the world's cutest tag team. Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae herself team up to face the innovator of violence, former FWE World Heavyweight Champion Tommy Dreamer, and Welcome to the Rumble 2 winner, and the Huntress, lvelisse Velez.
Wow, talk about crossing paths like you've never seen them before. To my knowledge, I'm pretty sure on this one, I've never seen lvelisse and Tommy Dreamer not only in the same ring, but tagged together. And what should be such an interesting dynamic. We see Tommy Dreamer in there with a who's who. I mean, honestly, I have nothing but respect for Tommy Dreamer. He deserves his own compilation. In terms of FWE, it's some of the best matchups. He's been in there, Brian Kendrick. We've seen him in there with... I'll say Matt Hardy. We've seen him in so many different people, and I am very excited to see him make his mixed tag debut in the FWE division. I guess it's going to be a division now. We might as well, considering the amount of partnerships we have going on. But in any case, this is going to be very interesting to see those two dynamics, the Huntress, lvelisse, in addition to Tommy Dreamer, against an established team in Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae.
That is definitely going to be interesting. Joey and Candice, they are a well-oiled unit. They've been doing this for so long, and they are just synonymous with each other. Dreamer and lvelisse, apart, they are tremendous individuals. Going to be interesting to see how cohesive they are as a unit. I mean, there shouldn't be too much of a rift, but it is interesting to see. lvelisse is usually alone or by herself. Dreamer normally does not need help, but now together to face a common enemy could spell trouble for the world's cutest tag team.
Who knows? It may just get hardcore.
It always does with Tommy.
You never know, and that's one thing that's always great about FW events. You don't know what to expect, and that match should be fireworks.
And that leads into our next match, non-title match. The FWE World Tag Team Champions, the first and only Adrenaline Express, EJ Risk, and VSK. They will face the masked puzzle man himself, Jigsaw, and the FWE Openweight Grand Prix champion, the premier athlete himself, Tony Nese.
I cannot wait for this one. I've been a huge fan. I guess that's even an understatement or an overstatement, depending on how you look at it, of Adrenaline Express, EJ Risk, VSK, one of my favorite up-and-coming tag teams, making a statement in FWE and being our longest reigning champions.
The only
I would say the only existing champions against a very talented collective in Tony Nese, the premier athlete, and the masked puzzle man Jigsaw, who we've seen. FW fans are very familiar with both these individuals. Tony Nese having an incredible run in FWE and punctuating that with a victory over John Hennigan, formerly John Morrison.
It's like we see, they are undefeated, Adrenaline Express, and they have beaten us a who's who in tag team. Yes. The Midnight Sensations, Azrael and Bandito Jr., Diamond Inc., The House Party, the Young Bucks. I mean, the list goes on and on. Interesting, though, you have them facing Tony Nese and Jigsaw. Tony Nese has 9 title victories over the FWE Triborough champion, Paul London, the FWE World Heavyweight champion, John Hennigan. The only champions he is missing is the tag team champions in AE.
And the women's.
And the women. I don't know if we want to face Maria, but but every male division champion.
There you go.
There you go. So this could be huge if he could have a win over every single male-dominated championship in FWE.
And then go after Maria.
Yes, then go after Maria. I wouldn't blame him. We also have now some great singles action. Chuck Taylor makes his return to FWE, faces another man making his debut, Johnny Gargano.
This should be very exciting. These guys are totally familiar to all of the fans of the indie wrestling world. You guys know very much about these guys, and to see them collide in FWE, one of these men is looking to make a statement, not only in FWE, but in their respective divisions, and I cannot wait to see what these guys have for us.
It's going to be very interesting. Chuck Taylor he came up short against Sonjay Dutt a while back, and Gargano. I've been hearing so many people talk about him wanting to come in FWE, and he is just a world-renowned talent. I'm looking forward personally. I've been mentioning his name over and over, and I'm glad he's finally in here to show FWE fans what he can do in that ring against our talented roster.
Definitely an exciting addition to an ever-growing. I mean, we talk about different companies. FWE has had a who's who of people on this roster, so many talented women and men, and it's such a great thing to be a part of, and that's one thing that you can always guarantee FW will do, is continue to bring you the top of the top in terms of not only just people that you're familiar with, but up-and-comers as well.
That's very true, and speaking of that, our next match is going to be a showcase of both established FWE competitors and established people who you've known been around the world. 4-way match. It's going to be Wes Draven, Sam Shields, Bandito Jr., and Rich Swann.
Wow, that has I said showstopper earlier before, but let me tell you, that has, stylistically, that matchup is chaos. You have 4 different men with 4 very different styles, and you know what that means at an event like this. It's going to be chaos. And I've had my share of having, good thing I've worked, having worked on my cardio, if you will. Especially, you have no choice when you're in matchups with some people like the Young Bucks, Jay Lethal, amongst numerous others. But in any case, that matchup is going to be sick. That's the only way to look at it. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see them all in action. We've seen Wes Draven in literally so many different matchups. He's been in there with Adrenaline Express, actually, in a 3-way. And on top of being with Chris Mordeski, formerly Chris Masters. So I'm very excited to see what he's doing in terms of being the favorite, in my opinion, in this matchup.
We also have 2 women making their FWE debut. Hania will be facing one of my all-time favorites, Veda Scott. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm
always a huge fan of the women's division, and FWE's women's division, which I don't even think we have an actual name. Dolls, is that what we're rolling with these days?
I've been,
I know there's other companies that have their own versions of this name. We don't actually have one, which is a shame, but I'll roll with Dolls for now because I enjoy that. But in any case, the women's division is Dolls. It's such a hotbed. I swear, there's so many different talented women. You have your reigning champion, Maria Kanellis. You have the Huntress, lvelisse. You have these 2 women who have a very storied background making their debuts in FWE. I'm very excited to see what they got for us.
It's going to be very exciting. Veda Scott is a tremendously talented individual. Not only charismatic, but she is a world-class athlete. I'm very interested in Hania. I've heard a lot about her making waves, but my personal favorite is Veda. I think she's beautiful. Look, hey, if you want to join me in a co-hosting segment, all good. But I'm glad also you caught on 1495 Sports, who was helping us out here.
Yeah.
I suggested that the next show she comes in and boom, AJ Pan makes things happen. Just saying.
And already replacing me. I can't blame you though. I can never look that good.
I don't think you could pull off the skirt and the glasses.
I don't think I could pull that one off. But in any case, I'm very excited to see what these women have in store for us. That's one of my favorite divisions in FW, along with the tag team division. It's something that you guys will definitely enjoy.
The next match I am going to actually say is my sleeper for the match of the night. Two tremendously talented, entertaining individuals. Alex Reynolds, who was in the first match ever in FWE history. Talented man, has been going over a House of Hardcore and matches of the night there. He will be facing a man who made his debut and has been the talk of FWE since. Freshly squeezed himself, Orange Cassidy.
That's going to be fantastic. And I was raising my hand, not that I am yours truly, Alex Reynolds, but I had the fortune of being a part of that very first matchup when he was in there with Jay Santana. Yes. We made history as being the very first members of FWE, and on camera it was very awesome, as were you, actually. We have our originals in the house. Makes perfect hosting idea here. But in any case, jumping back to Orange Cassidy and Alex Reynolds, these guys are, again, very well-established guys that we've seen. Alex Reynolds has been making a run in FWE. He's getting his time to shine, and I think he wants to make that stamp, if you will. He's looking for that defining victory. I think he's going to make it at Orange Cassidy, personally.
It's going to be a very interesting match, but speaking of those guys, the next match has two hungry men who want to get back into the FWE Triborough Championship picture. The man whose shirt you're wearing, the Firebird Jorge Santi, he faces my good friend and client, Damien Darling, the final Freebird, returning to FWE.
Speechless, because Damien Darling has been in there. We talk about, I like to use the word who's who, but seriously though, I referenced Tommy Dreamer earlier before. Damien Darling alone, can get his own DVD in FWE. He's been in there with Eric Young, Jay Lethal. I mean, now he's in there with Santi. He's been in there with so many talented individuals, and these matchups have been fantastic. And you don't know what to expect. That's the other thing. You don't know what to expect with someone like Damien Darling. He has his entourage, his crew, if you will. And it's always, I've been involved with certain questionable calls, if you will, in terms of things I've seen and haven't seen, unfortunately, but I've seen and reviewed on camera. And these guys, that Damien Darling is someone to keep an eye out on. I'm going to, hopefully, if I'm the one counting the 1, 2, 3, I'll be watching not only you, my friend, but I'll be watching Damien Darling and everyone else that he decides to bring in. I know he has his doppelgangers and his managers, if you will. So you don't know what to expect with Damien. And Santi, one of my favorite up-and-comers, definitely very talented. This man has been in a slew of different promotions, and now he's here at FWE. He's making a good run. We've seen him in there with guys like Matt Taven, opposite him at least, and I cannot wait to see this matchup.
This is one a lot of fans and even us have been talking about, seeing these two guys face each other. That Triborough Championship pictures, both men have proven themselves. Damien, former champion, Santi, even the fans are getting more and more behind him now. I normally want to say
Jorge.
I'm normally one of those people, but he's facing my guy Damien. Damien's a guy, as you said, and he's not only facing him, he's beaten Jay Lethal. Yes. He's beaten Harry Smith. He's beaten Wes Draven. Santi, I hate to say, I think your time has run out here, and Damien's going to make his way back into the Triborough Championship picture. Besides all of that, though, on this night, we also have
night one for them. I'm sorry.
But there are still
this is night one.
The FWE Women's Champion will be on commentary that night, so I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say. She's been away for a while, hearing about all the competition and the stacked women's division that's been gone. Because also in her absence, Serena Deeb's made her debut. Cheerleader Melissa, so many go. Casey Ray, Christina Von Eerie. Well, she'll be wrestling night too. That's what I was waiting to say.
Oh, sorry.
Jumping the gun there, pal.
I am, but it's just so stacked that you can't help but be involved and mention all these quality names. It's not like it's just these run-of-the-mill names. It's just, these people you'll see it's so talented, and honestly, it's some of the best performances I've ever seen. Honestly, it's just straight up some of the best Maria Kanellis performances I've ever seen were in FWE.
Oh yeah, and besides that, if you're live in Brooklyn, you could also catch just on iPay-per-view.
Yes.
A live exclusive for the fans is going to be a triple threat match as Colt Cabana returns to face
Boom, boom, boom.
Showtime Eric Young, host of Animal Planet and what's the Discovery Channel, I believe he's on? Yes. Off the hook and Extreme.
There you go.
Yeah, the Extreme. I should know.
You should know this.
I know he has. So they're two great shows.
He has so many shows. They're so hard to
Well,
keep up
I'm
with.
excited because my man is returning. As you know, my client Jesse Goddard's big CBS star.
Oh.
Well, fellow bro man Robbie E from Amazing Race, he will be returning. So,
Is probably one of your favorites in more ways than one.
yeah.
I cannot wait. You know, I keep saying it, but it's absolutely true. There's no way you can't feel the excitement of something like this event. And one thing that's going to be awesome about that is, much like someone like a Damien Darling, Colt Cabana, completely unpredictable. Eric Young, I don't even think unpredictable is the correct word for this gentleman. Everywhere. I've had the privilege being part of an air band with him, you as well, amongst numerous other things. But one thing I do particularly enjoy about Eric Young is that regardless of the comedy that he does do, he's a very funny individual. He comes there and he's out there to make a statement and has probably one of my favorite elbow drops in the game.
he does indeed. But while we have to talk about now night number 2. If you thought that was enough, you have to come back for night 2 because on night 2, the main event, FWE World Tag Team Championships will be defended. 4 teams. If that's not enough, it will be TLC match. That's right. So in that match, you will see EJ Risk and VSK Adrenaline Express defending the championships against the masked puzzle man himself, Jigsaw, and the premier athlete, Tony Nese, the openweight champion. Against Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks. Against Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, the Addiction.
What a main event there. If you thought night 1 was going to be epic, night 2 is going to be epic-er. And that's not even a word. It's not even a word, but you know what? That's how epic night 2 will be. Because Refueled is going to be unbelievable. That main event speaks for itself. I don't even have to go on a tirade
I'm
here.
going to put you on the spot. Who's going to win?
Adrenaline Express.
I'm saying the Addiction.
I've always been a fan of Adrenaline Express, so hopefully we can see them come up with the victory.
I've been a fan of theirs too, but I'm going with my boys, the Addiction, man. I'm looking forward to them debuting, and we can all be allowed to worship them.
Hopefully have an Appletini for you can raise a glass and a pinky, I guess.
Yes. But you think that's just the main event.
Yeah.
Also, this could be a double main event as the Innovator of Violence, Tommy Dreamer. He will go one-on-one with Drew Galloway.
Wow. Tommy Dreamer getting put to work here, and coming off his mixed tag debut, he's going to, at least in FWE, making a run against the former Drew McIntyre. I cannot wait. You guys, obviously, like I mentioned before early on, Tommy Dreamer, you don't know what to expect. You don't know if it's going to be hardcore. You don't know what's going to happen. We haven't seen Drew in that kind of atmosphere, if you will, that Tommy Dreamer brings to the game, so I'm very excited to see those two styles mash.
It's going to be interesting, and if you go on our FWE Facebook page, Drew Galloway has some words for Tommy Dreamer about that match. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to being in Tommy's place that night. Feel bad for that.
Yeah.
Also, the FWE Women's Championship will be defended as Maria Kanellis, longest reigning champion ever, a 2-time women's champion, will be facing the #1 contender, lvelisse Velez.
That should be awesome. In the good words of Mike Chiavello, that was awesome.
It's going to be, yeah. I mean, Maria has been dominant, and she has improved leaps and bounds. Is one of the talented and top women in the industry. But lvelisse Velez, ever since her debut in FWE, has just been going nonstop through the roster, and she wants the gold.
Yes. She's an absolutely tough individual, and I think she won't be having a smile once she's in there with Maria.
No. Night number 2, Matt. I'm calling this match tonight. The original I'm sorry, I'm so excited. The original player from the Himalaya. I wanted to dance, that's why. Sonjay Dutt, the original player from the Himalaya, there we go.
There you go.
Will be facing, making his FWE debut, Chris Sabin.
Wow.
The Motor City Machine Gun himself.
We have nothing but debut city going on, and Chris Sabin should be yet another excellent addition to the roster. You guys, these guys are definitely very well known. Chris Sabin will be there to be making a statement against the, I guess, FW veteran at this point, against Dutt, and I'm very excited to see this one go down. These guys, I've never seen a bad Sonjay Dutt performance, so Chris Sabin, where do I get tickets?
FWWrestling.com.
Good thing I get the best seat in the house.
Yes, you do. Next to me. Yours is a little bit better.
I'd say mine might be a little bit better.
If these two men will be tired from the night before, but they're coming back into action, Colt Cabana will be facing Johnny Gargano. I believe it's a first-time meeting.
Yes, that's one thing I do love. In addition to debuts, we have first-time ever matchups, and that's one thing that's great. Not only does the roster speak for itself, but we have first-time meetings and things that you guys at home should definitely be tuning into.
Besides that, I'm looking. This is now. I said match of the night, but it's gonna be my favorite match of the night. Candice LeRae will be teaming up with a mystery tag team partner to face. This could be my favorite tag team of all time. Veda Scott and Christina Von Eerie, as we mentioned earlier.
Wow, what are the stipulations on that? Is the question and answer, can we have is it a female, is it a male? Do we know anything about this?
Well, we know it's a mystery partner, so who knows who can decide or not hear that there's any ruling on who she can or cannot bring in.
Could it be Joey Ryan? Who knows?
Well, I don't think it will be because he has a match that night.
Okay. So in any case, we've ruled that option out. She has, I know she has plenty of connections. I know she'll be making calls. She'll be bringing in someone extremely memorable. And that has the makings of very, very nice. I tell you, the females division, dolls. I guess we're gonna roll with that. The dolls, unbelievable stuff.
But yes, Joey Ryan, he will not be in that match because he has a match against the Master Wes Draven himself.
Wow. Speaking of Wes Draven, who's been in there with, again, that's one thing I do love about FWE. You see these individuals not just up against the same names. You see them with mixing it up, and that's one match that I am very much looking forward to. Wes Draven being in there with Chris Mordeski, Adrenaline Express, so many different individuals. I cannot wait because Wes, the master, is quite talented.
He is. And we're not ending it there. We also have Bandito Jr. going up against JT Dunn.
Wow. Done. That's all I can say. Done.
Fans, this night of action was going to be tremendous. I also have a quick message to say, FWE executives, especially Conrad Chow, he mentioned something, he's been talking online. I have a couple of clients who have guaranteed contracts to FWE. And these shows, they're loaded, don't get me wrong, they are stacked from top to bottom. But he's telling me that my guys cannot be on these shows. Well, guess what? They have guaranteed contracts. The extra guys, book them or not, you know what? We're showing up to Refueled. And also, you mentioned the Rockstar. I heard you call him out specifically that he will not be at the show. He's got a guaranteed contract as well, my friend. So I'll be on hand. I am contractually obligated to be at ringside. And those three men, I'm bringing them to the party. We might get the suite up in St. Patrick's. We'll have some Vegas fuel with some maybe some adult beverages.
There you go.
But we will crash the party. If you don't want to have us on in the show, we'll be on the show, pal.
And for those of you watching, you guys are very familiar with these individuals that Mr. Pan has brought up. And shall we see them? Will we see them?
Oh, you will see them. In what capacity?
I don't know for sure, but this is their go-to agents, so I guess he would be better informed than me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss this. If you're not in the New York area, please, you can visit us, watch it on iPay-per-view. If you can, join us. Tickets are still available. www.fwewrestling.com. Any late breaking news, please go to the website or like us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter at FWE Wrestling.
Yes.
You can follow me at AJPan_PC. Uncle Steven's finally on Twitter.
I do have one now. You can follow me, Uncle Steven, in the mixer amongst numerous other things at Steven_Dumeng, which is my actual name. Steven_Dumeng. D-U-M-E-N-G.
So don't forget, October 3rd and 4th, live, Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, New York. It is an event not to be missed. 3rd and 4th.
No.
Did I say 2nd and 3rd? Oh.
No, I was just doing the
you were doing the hand signals.
Hey,
okay.
brother. We're working on this.
I only talk about this one. The Young Bucks, throw them up, baby.
3-4.
Yes.
Go on, my friend.
But yes, join us live. It's going to be a phenomenal event, as we always do. We present the best wrestling in New York. You do not want to miss it, fans.